Hey guys, welcome back to Biscuits Total War. This is Biscuits giving you another online commentary for the fabulous Rome Total War. Now this is going to be a 3 versus 3 online commentary, 31k rules, and I'm playing as the Macedonians. Now, I'm playing underneath the name of Biscuits Heaven from the Heaven clan, and I have got 4 Heaven members today. Not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 members. You may think this is really old replay, but this is actually only done a couple of weeks ago. Sorry, scrap that. A couple of days ago. And I was actually sitting on this replay for some time, but the person who I was actually playing with, who is Elita from the Heaven clan, said he was going to put this replay up on the channel. He hasn't put it up yet, so I've decided to step in and put this one up on my channel because it's such an awesome replay. So let's quickly outline the the builds, outline the players, and just let you know what's going on behind the scenes. So I'm playing as the Macedonians. Elita from the Heaven clan is playing as Pontus, and Lucius-C-Sulla is playing as the Greeks. So it's 3 pike factions versus some other guys in the background, which I'll quickly outline in the moment. So let's have a look at my army. Let's have a look exactly what I've brought. I have brought 13. What have I brought? I bought 5 or 6. What have I got there? No, I've got 5 companion cav, a couple of archers, and then the rest royal pikemen. We'll have a look at Elita. He has gone for 2 chariot archers, 4 Scythed chariots, and 14 pikemen. And let's have a look at Lucius-C-Sulla. He's gone for 3 Spartans, 2 armoured hoplites, and 5 Cretan archers. Now, as we're playing with Pontus within our ranks, one thing that Pontus does not like, that is archers. Pontus is going to be really vulnerable against archers. So when we played the opposition, both of us, all 3 of us, were basically thinking, ah, fuck, we've lost this already, because we're going to be going up against the Egyptians. And what are the Egyptians good at? Chariots, which can counter Pontus, but also loads of archers. Let's have a little glance to see what he's brought. Playing as the Greeks, we've got AXAIS, and he's gone for 2 chariot archers, 4 standard charioteers, and then the rest. Look at all of these Pharaoh's bowmen. Now these Pharaoh's bowmen arguably are the best probably archers in the game. And just look how many he's got. He has got 14 of these bad boys. That is going to be impossible for us to try and shoot down. He's just got shitloads of archers. So it's going to be really, really interesting. Now to support all of these archers, what they need to do is have some really good infantry. And that's exactly what they've brought. King ANIBAL has brought 14 urbans and 6 Praetorian cav, and then PaladinBob, he's the 4th Heaven member on this online battle. He has brought how many? I believe it's 15 sacred bands and 5 slingers. So they've got shitloads of archers, really good infantry. It's going to be tough. It's going to be hard to see what exactly happens. Now, what we need to try and do is get my army probably into the centre. We want to try and get these Greeks to go and attack the Romans, and my Macedonians to attack the Carthaginians. And Elita's infantry is just basically going to sit back, try and keep well away from these archers, because let's look at these shields. The the royal pikemen have got these really big shields, so they're going to be okay. If I can walk up slowly into the direction of the arrow fire, yes, they're going to take a lot of damage, but I should be able to hold my ground. If Pontus, where's Pontus now? Pontus is hiding somewhere. Here we go. If Pontus walks into archers, look at the little shields. Basically, my dinner plate is bigger than those shields there. They're not going to be able to stop an arrow, and these guys will drop like flies. So we need to make sure we keep away from the archers. Well, Pontus definitely needs to keep away from the archers. Now, to try and nullify some of the archer advantage they've got, Elita's peeled off 2 of his chariot archers. He's got 1 on this flank here. They're in constabulary circle, and they're taking pot shots at these slingers. And they're doing a bit of damage, but these slingers are now in range of these chariot archers, and they should be able to actually mow them down with their slingers with these rocks. And look, just check out, here comes the archers now. They're going to get in range within a second. We just need to get our guys back, because there's no way in hell we'll be able to attack or try and beat all of these archers with that one charioteer. Let's have a little glance over here. And this other charioteer that was fighting these Egyptian charioteers. And didn't do too much damage, if any damage at all. All the action's going to happen here now. So the slingers run forwards. They're trying to shoot down these chariot archers. As you can see, they're doing a bit of damage. What they decided to do is trying to test the water. This is the equivalent of dipping your toe in the hot water of a bath. I thought I might just send some of these companion cav just to try and test the water, to see what would happen. And look, just check out all of these archers. They're just gunning down my cav. There was, what, how many units in there? There were 54. These guys are down to, what, 47, 44. They've been absolutely obliterated by all of these archers. So we now know that if we send any units within range of these dead bodies, basically our guys are going to get absolutely lit up. And you can just see all of this arrow fire. It's like the 4th of July. There's no way that we can get our units close to these guys. What we need to try and be is try and act smart and see if we can try and push forward our infantry. So that's exactly what we're going to do here. Lucius-C-Sulla is now going to send in his Spartans. Look, these Spartans have got humongous shields. They're bigger than my royal pikemen. So these guys are going to be okay. But just check out what's going to happen in a second. The minute they get into range of these archers, look, loose, in they all come. See all of these arrows coming straight into these poor guys. They're already panicked by fire. What they need to do now is just drop their spears down and get into a decent formation. Because they're doing that, look, PaladinBob's seeing exactly what we're doing. He's now going to move his sacred bands over here to try and engage these Spartans. And the Spartans, what they want to do, they want to try and keep away from all of these archers. And just look at them being absolutely peppered. I think Lucius, when we were talking to him on the microphone whilst we were playing this, he was laughing because basically his guys are getting absolutely lit up by all of these archers. You know, there's nothing they can do. They can't really advance forwards too much because they're just being burnt to bits, burnt to shreds by all of these Pharaoh's bowmen. Just taking a sip of tea there. So, in the meantime, what I've decided to do, I'm going to charge in a few of my companion cav here. I thought I might be able to try and catch these guys napping. Maybe I might be able to try and get a few of these Pharaoh's bowmen. So I'm going to charge in here. And in the meantime, I'm also trying to block off these these sacred bands infantry from attacking these Spartans. We want to get these Spartans engaged and try and attack these urban cohorts. But urban cohorts, they're pulling back now. And in comes the sacred band. They're just going to slowly mop up these guys. And they make short work of them really easy. In the meantime, I've got my cav around the side here. And what I'm going to try and do is come around the edge here with those chariot archers and try and do a bit of damage. And in the meantime, I've got all of these archers here. Every time PaladinBob, these sacred bands turn their backs to us, we're just going to be shooting the back. And look, you see these guys are just dropping down, doing quite a lot of damage here. A few of these guys are now dead. But there's just loads more of these sacred bands to go. There's no way that we can kill them all, but we're definitely doing our best to try and kill as many of these guys as possible. And you can see it's like Goldilocks. It's Little Bread's trail, not Goldilocks. Whatever the the fairy tale is with the little trail of dead bodies here, just leading their way all the way to these sacred bands. Anyway, sacred band are now back into formation. What we need to try and do is now do exactly the same kind of principle. We need to try and get my archers around the flank here, and that's exactly what I'm doing here. I want to try and get a few little shots on these sacred bands, try and do a bit of damage. And in the meantime, I'm going to pull in my infantry here and just try and block all of these sacred bands. The sacred band are pretty heavily upgraded because at the end of the day, they've managed to get 5 Balearic slingers. So these 15 sacred band, I reckon all 15 of these are absolutely maxed out. So these guys should be able to cut through us like a knife going through hot butter. It is going to be hard to keep these guys at bay. But I've got loads of men in my units, so I've got plenty of men to sacrifice. All we need to try and do is keep these sacred bands engaged whilst these Spartans engage on all of these urbans over here. And that's exactly what Lucius is doing now. You can see his pikes are down, guard mode is off. He's just going to slowly push his guys forward. and hopefully he can try and get into these urban cohorts. Now, PaladinBob's made a bit of a blunder there. Some of his cav got caught up on some of the pike units here. I'm now going to push forward with my pikes and just try and gun these guys down, try and engage these units. And as you can see, I'm going to cause a lot of damage here with my own guys. I'm going to run my guys forwards, drop the pikes down, press guard mode, and just basically hold the line, try and push back all of these sacred bands. Whilst I'm doing this, in comes Pontus. Now Pontus is able to come into the side. My cav is now also coming to the side, and what we're trying to do is wrap around this flank here. Although these guys, the enemy, have got the advantage for the archers, we have got the advantage for the infantry. We've got loads of men on our side. Now I'm going to try and go for a bit of a suicide kamikaze charge here. I'm just trying to get this general unit on the Carthaginian. I thought I might be able to try and slam straight through here, but all of my companion cav are going to instantaneously rout any second now. And there we go, pretty much lost the majority of my cav. In the meantime, over here, the Spartans are slowly trying to push through all of these urbans, but they're not doing too well because the urbans are into Studio at the moment, and the urbans are throwing a volleys of Pila into these guys here. We were getting quite worried. And now, here, nice little move here from King ANIBAL. He's managed to get his urbans around the flank here, and are now trying to surround these Spartans. And also, whilst these Spartans turn their back, all of these archers now pelting these guys full of arrows, and that's going to be causing a lot of devastation. In the meantime, I've got loads and loads and loads of infantry here, just trying to surround these guys. We're just trying to nullify, we're trying to tire out all of these sacred bands. Sacred band are doing an excellent job holding their ground, but we're just going to slowly try and push them back bit by bit. We're losing shitloads of infantry at this stage, but over here it looks like the brave son of a bitch. You can see, look, Pontus has peeled back his general to try and attack these cav units, but if we look here, we can just about see the dead Pontus general here. So Pontus is out, he's lost their general. Now that sounds like nothing much, but that's going to have a devastating effect on the Pontus morale, because the Pontus morale is not great at all. And have a look here, we can see the Spartans are now being isolated. We're trying to pull our infantry over to support Lucius, because if Lucius goes, we have had it, because we've only got our Scythed Chariots, and the Scythed Chariots won't really do much at the end of the day, because they've got chariots to counter our chariots, but they've got a shitload of archers left. Look at all of these Pharaoh's bowmen. These guys are just gunning our infantry units down. These Pontus pikes have been shot to bits, because look, they've just got a little plate as a shield. They're not going to be able to hold their ground against the onslaught, the barrage of all of these Pharaoh's bowmen. Now in comes King ANIBAL. The Julii play a really risky maneuver here, but what he's trying to do, he knows that if he can take out the takes out these Spartans, then that will basically give him the advantage. So he's done a bit of a suicide charge there. He's just piled in all of his cav here, trying to kill this one general, but he's been unsuccessful, unfortunately. He now needs to pull his guys back out. At this stage, you can see we've got the Scythed Chariots at the back here, just ready to engage. Now they've gone into tight formation, so anytime now these guys are going to come charging in here. And we can see now the Sacred Band General is now being routed, so it's now turned into a 2 versus 2, but this is it. Elita is going to throw his cards on the table. This is do or die moment. In comes these Scythed Chariots. Now these Scythed Chariots have got one decent charge in them. If they start messing about, if they start dallying around, they're going to get shot to bits by all of these Pharaoh's bowmen. And here they come. In they come charging here. Let's see if they can try and do this. They've got a nice little charge bonus. In comes the Julii cap. They're just frantically trying to kill this general. In comes the here we go. Let's look at this damage here. All of these units are scared of all these chariots. There's just chariots going left, right and centre. These guys are probably going to instantaneously rout anytime now. They're probably going to run amok anytime now. Julii are still holding strong against the constant barrage of all of these all of the Pontic Scythed Chariots. And here we go. Now, look at that. That has just about done it now. We've just about routed all of these Julii units. In comes the Egyptian Charioteers. Now, the Egyptian Charioteers, a little birdie once told me, if you put these guys on guard mode, you got a bit more control of them. but these guys haven't got much control. And then watch this, you'll see a bit of a blunder here. This is great for us, but not so good for the Egyptians. They're just going to drive their chariots straight into these pikes. The chariots have got little to no armour, and there we go. Egyptian charioteers are being absolutely wiped out. We've lost our chariots, but the Julii have been wiped out. The Scythed band have pretty much been wiped out. So we've got a shitload of infantry, they've got a shitload of archers, but we should be able to chase them down. So at this stage, I was thinking, how the hell do we manage to pull off this? Because to be honest, once I saw all of those Egyptian archers, I just thought there's no way in hell we can win. Elita did really well with his chariots. He basically threw his cards on the table, put everything on black to see what he could try and pull off, and he managed to pull off a nice little charge there of his chariots, causing a lot of mayhem, a lot of devastation to all of these Julii units, and that's what cost them the match. That's what cost the enemy the match. Once the Julii are routed, once the Sacred Band have been finished and these chariots have been wiped out, we can now just charge in our infantry, full steam ahead, run them straight into these archers. These archers, although victory seems certain, only a fool could lose this, in 1 or 2 moments they're about to lose it. You'll see now all of this infantry, we're just going to charge everything we've got into these guys. I'm just going to triple speed it for 2 moments because there's no point dragging this out because it's been quite a long replay. But guys, this has been an absolute awesome battle, really super tight. Everyone played exceptionally well. PaladinBob, you know, he played his socks off there. His Sacred Band got a shitload of kills. Just look at all of these dead bodies. These are all of my pike units, all of the Pontus units been absolutely obliterated. The Sacred Band were absolutely maxed out. These units are basically Terminator Sacred Bands. These guys were on steroids and they managed to do themselves proud. They managed to take us out. But at the end of the day, we had overwhelming units on our side, overwhelming numbers, and we were able to use our archers in the right place, and they were Scythed chariots just at that last decisive moment to try and swing in that victory. It was an average victory, but the battle replay was far from average. It was an awesome game, and I really hope you guys enjoy that. Just look at the kill counts. It was so close. I got in best part of 1500 kills. Lucius got in about 1200 kills, as did Elita. The Egyptian player only got in about 1000 kills, and that's basically because his chariots unfortunately just went slamming straight into our pikes and they all died. Look at the Julii, 1200 kills, but star of the game, Heaven PaladinBob, 1600 kills, did really well there. Stood his ground against all of those pike units and managed to really mop up my pikes and mop up Lucius and mop up the Pontus player. So guys, let me know what you think of this replay. Leave a little comment behind, leave a little thumbs up. I really appreciate all the support. If you love Rome Total War, what am I trying to say? Mental blank. Show your support for the channel, leave a little comment, subscribe, like and share the video. I'll catch you guys soon for the next installment of Biscuits Total War for Rome goodness. See you soon and thanks. Bye.